Well, welcome in to the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. That's what's on your television or your computer right now. Lauren Nicole Cash, Jamie, Aaron McCracken, dropping those middle names in the show tonight.
Oh gosh, oh man, yes. We are jam-packed with college basketball tonight, and that starts with the 14th ranked Kentucky Wildcats, who were banged up going into this game tonight down at College Station.
Yeah, Texas A&M, we know about Alex Pointhress, right knee still out, likely to return soon. Marcus Lee went out of the Tennessee game this past Thursday with a tight back, and Bullet East Buckets boy Derek Willis, he dealt with stiff knees, a twisted ankle, and a back issue. Yeah, they're pretty much crippled right now, but he still dropped a career high of 25 in that game, by the way.
Solid.
All right,
what are they going to do tonight?
I don't know. College game day is in town. T-shirt night and Super Bowl MVP Von Miller in hand to watch his alma mater Texas A&M taking on Kentucky. Second half, Tyler Eulis up to Marcus Lee. Tied game at 68. 10 seconds to go now. Daniel House, this is where it gets serious. Daniel House for the win. No, Tyler Eulis, the heave, that's not going to go either. So we're going to play some extra basketball now. John Calipari, he wanted a timeout, looking for a timeout, try to call something, set it up, didn't get it. Go to OT, Jalen Jones, layup, the foul, the three-point play. A&M up by 1, Jones with a game-high 24. Still up 1, Tyler Eulis. He's dynamic. Team high 22, 76-75 Kentucky. 17 seconds left. Isaac Humphries with a big play here. Comes up with the block. Humphries fouled. Everything looks good for the Cats. But then he throws the ball in excitement and is teed up. A technical foul on Isaac. Take another look. Humphries, he realizes he probably shouldn't have done that. Both teams get 2 free throws. Yikes. So we're tied at 77 with 4.1 seconds left. House for the win. No, second chance by Tyler Davis. My goodness, Von Miller's going to like that. We're gonna check it out one more time. Another check to see if it went in before the clock buzzed. The replay does confirm. Yeah, it's not even close. That shot counts. Kentucky loses in College Station in overtime, 79-72. The freshman wins it for A&M. The Aggies had 22 second chance points to 11 by Kentucky. They also out-rebounded the Cats, especially on the offensive boards. A&M with 20 offensive boards, Kentucky with 6. That's the big difference maker. The Aggies reached 20 wins for the 15th time in school history and 9th time in 12 seasons.
They played. Billy had them ready. They were ready for our stuff. I thought we played well offensively and did enough. We just didn't rebound. We started rebounding late and had to go zone because we couldn't guard them. Did all right in the zone, and we were a couple rebounds away from creating a gap, and we just couldn't seem to get them.
Next up for Kentucky is Alabama. Avery Johnson will bring his Crimson Tide into Rupp Arena.
Game time set for 7 o'clock this coming Tuesday night in Lexington. After winning 5 in a row, the Tide lost at home today, 67-61 to Mississippi State. Last time Bama beat Kentucky was at home in January of 2013. Well, how about some Western Kentucky basketball? Turned in a 3-game losing streak. Tops at home hosting Charlotte before the game, 65-66. Former Hilltoppers were honored, but let's go first half, and it was all Charlotte early. Anthony Van Hook behind the back to Braxton later. Justin Johnson spins. Tough basket, falls right there, but still down 9. 49ers now late in the half. The big man for the 49ers, nailing them. That's a 3-ball. Charlotte led 34-21 at the half. To the second half, Frederick Edmond with the slam dunk. The Tops cut the lead to 10. But Charlotte still playing. John Davis with the 2-handed slam of his own. We're going dunk for dunk here. 49ers up 9. WKU on a run. Nigel Snipes left wide open. Buries the huge triple. The game's tied at 36 all. Charlotte adds a run now. Davis again up for the slam. 47-40 49ers. WKU made plays down the stretch though. Aaron Cosby. That's a 3-ball to beat the shot clock. 53-49 Tops on top. Davis puts up a good contested 3. No good. Let's go to the scoreboard. WKU rallies back from 18 points down to win 59-54, the largest comeback win under head coach Ray Harper.
In the past, what would have happened in a game like today, we wouldn't have continued to defend. We let our offense dictate our defense early in the year, but now we're starting to be where we can get stops on the defensive end. We're usually much better on the offensive end. I mean, CJ, could you have made some of those shots today? Yep, I told you. I thought so too.
It's a boost of confidence. You know, we show we can play with, you know, just about anybody, but, you know, closing it out shows, you know, we can win, and we just need to keep this momentum.
Coach's little helper right there, CJ. I bet he can ball. I'm jealous. He's like, yeah, Coach, I get buckets all the time.
All right, coming up on the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night, we go to Williamsburg for some hoops.
Yes, some more hoops. 2 Mid-South Conference games going on at Cumberland's for our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week, including a top 25 matchup on the men's side.
Welcome back. Our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week crew was in Williamsburg today for a Mid-South Conference doubleheader between Cumberland's and U-Pike.
Yes, the number 21 and number 24 teams in the NAIA going at it. Bears hungry for some revenge since the Patriots snapped their 48-game home winning streak back in December and handed them their first loss of the season down in Williamsburg. Not only a Mid-South Conference matchup, but a top 25. 21 Cumberland's for U-Pike. Pat's trying to sweep the Bears for the first time since 2010. Early first half, U-Pike up 4. Senior Colt Chapman driving in the lane, the nice dish to Michael Lewis with an even better finish. Two-handed slam by the big man. Bears up 6. Cumberland's working it around the horn. Delando Carter.
That's from way downtown.
Yeah, okay. He hit a lot of those today. Lead trimmed to 3. Carter, he can shoot it. Oh, and he can lob it. Xavier Owens, get up. Cumberland's, though, still down 5. Trey Rakes pushing it quickly up the court, kicks it out to Jackson Hussey in stride. That goes. Bears still up 5. Midway through the first half, Carter again. This was his 4th 3-ball to that point in the game. He finished with a casual 9 3-pointers and 38 points.
Like 30 feet out.
Patriots leading now. You see, keeping up the intensity in the second half, Taylor Gover, one of his 2 3-balls. He added 3 assists. The Patriots up 9.
Do they know the three-point line's a little bit closer?
Yeah, they could step in if they wanted to. U-Pike was down double digits at one point, stringing together a run here. That's Mr. Consistency there. Christian Leach brings it every game. 2 of his 17. Lead down to 3. Under a minute to play. Bears need a bucket. Bears get a bucket. KK Simmons, the deep 3-pointer from straight away. U-Pike needed that badly. Last chance, though, for U-Pike. Jackson Hussey, no, gets a good look, but U-Pike loses to Cumberland's. Let's go to the scoreboard. Cumberland's wins it 79-78. They sweep U-Pike for the first time since 2010. They hold off the 4th-ranked Bears. Here's Coach Butcher after the win, and players, excuse me.
Pikeville has a really good team, and we played. This is the best we played all year by far. They brought the best out of us in every area. We defended them hard. They still made challenge shots. They defended us hard. We made some challenge shots. A real even game. A lot of ebbs and flows. And we were up 6 or 8. They go up 4 or 5. Just a real high-level quality basketball.
I have to give all the credit to my teammates, man. They play hard. They gave. Let me go on a good note on my senior night. Just moving the ball and getting open for my teammates, passing, cutting, setting screens, and just letting my teammates do all the work.
My goodness, some of them 3-pointers. Woo! All right, check out the Mid-South Conference standings now. Cumberland sitting behind Georgetown and U-Pike at 3rd. Tigers and Bears have a solid chance of reaching the NAIA tournament in a few weeks in Kansas City. It's where Lauren Cash will be.
Woo woo!
Cumberland's continuing to prove itself, sweeping U-Pike, of course, and splitting the regular season with the 2nd-ranked team in the nation, Georgetown.
All right, the Patriot ladies, well, they knocked off the 3rd-ranked Campbellsville Lady Tigers home last Saturday, trying to knock off this Saturday the 21st-ranked U-Pike Bears. Shot clock winding down here. Giovanna Stojakovic misses, but the former Clay County Lady Tiger Cheyenne Madden there to clean it up off the glass and one. Free throw good. We're tied up at 17 in the first quarter. Second quarter now off the Cumberland's miss. U-Pike pushing the floor. Devin Conley, Rachel Lee, back to Conley. First bucket of the game. She's going to score a lot of them, though. Bears up 5. To the 3rd quarter, Bears up 2. Kayla Day finds Conley right there.
That's pretty deep too.
It doesn't even touch the rim. 4 of her 6 threes, 16 points for the sophomore, lead back to 5. Still third quarter, deficit 9. Cumberland's there. Letitia Deloach pulls up from the perimeter. 3 of her 34 points, Deloach putting on a show on senior day. Former Belfry Lady Pirate Emily Baker in the game for U-Pike dishes to Andrea Matchin, sinks the jumper, 13 for Matchin. All season, Candace Porter has lived in the paint, showing off her short jumper there, though, splashes that one in, and we go to the scoreboard. U-Pike wins 68-64. Both teams hit the road for the next 2 games, both playing at Cumberland, Tennessee and at Lindsey Wilson before the Mid-South Conference tournament.
It's a big win for us. You know, we needed to get our confidence back, and getting the win against St. Cat's at our last home game, and then getting this one kind of puts a little string back together that, like we talked about before the game, is much needed because we were on a little bit of a dry patch there. You know, I've said it all year long with this team, we're so unselfish, and I think you see that in the box score. We had 3 girls in double digits, you know, and then we had 1 at 9 points, and everybody steps to the plate when needed, and we finally got our offense going.
It means a lot to us, especially that we've come through like a little rough patch lately, and we just needed this win to get our confidence back, really. Good teams make runs, and good teams make runs back, so we just had to take the punches and roll with it.
All right, let's check out the Women's Mid-South Conference standings. Shawnee State sits atop the conference with a 24-5 record. Right behind them is Campbellsville. U-Pike sits at 5th with a 21-5 record. 4 Mid-South Conference women's teams are ranked in the top 25 in the NAI. It should make for an interesting conference tournament in a few weeks.
Ron House wanted to take a selfie with my camera, so that's how we start the highlight pack. Bad editing, by the way, because look, I made the highlight. Alice Lloyd taking on Ohio Christian with the win. The Eagles clinch an automatic berth to the national tournament. Dondre, he's ready to go, former Cordia Lion. First half, Tyler Rogers to the cup. 4-0 ALC. Later, Cody Stumbo to the cup. 6-0 and make it 7-0 after the free throw, Alice Lloyd. Now the Trailblazers, they weren't too concerned with the #1 team in the nation when it comes to block shots. Tribune Daily, no, not a newspaper. That's actually his name. Jamming it home. That's how you make the headlines. Ha-ha. That's a pun.
Get it.
House on the wing now, kicking it over to Trevor Combs with a long jumper. He only had 3 points. That's 2 of them, though. And then T-Rod from downtown. Eagles up 6. Shot clock winding down now. We're going to a former Johnson Central Golden Eagle, Shane Hall. Oh, get out of my way. ALC up by 7 at the break. Let's go second half off the miss. Ahead to T-Rod. It's Tyler Rogers without a D, but they call him T-Rod.
Okay, I got you.
I don't get it either. That's what Ron House said. Yeah, take another look. Let's go to the Highlands Health System scoreboard. Alice Lloyd would lose this game, though, by 5 points, 65-60. The Eagles will likely now need to win the conference tournament to secure a bid to Branson, Missouri for the national tourney. Now to the Alice Lloyd women, also hosting Ohio Christian. First half, second quarter, Amber Shepard from a spot on the court where it counts for 3 points. Lady Eagles, down by 2 after that.
That was terrible.
Second half, third quarter, Paige Lewis step back, and see, that's what, if you were guarding Paige Lewis, that's what she'd do, right in your face.
In my
You like
face.
that?
No.
7 minutes to go in the quarter. India Harrison James, dink donk, and then later India again. 10 on the night for IHJ. Alice Lloyd down by 4. Fourth quarter, Shepard. She gonna play a little bumper cars here, but she gets it up and in. Had a team high 17. Alice Lloyd down by 2, 47-45. But this is how it went today defensively for the Lady Eagles. Deshae Thomas, no one.
Scoop.
She could have. Yeah, there's just nobody there. Alice Lloyd loses 55-47. Lady Eagles turn the ball over 21 times. They shoot just 37% from the field. Ohio Christian with just 6 turnovers themselves.
We had Sarah Robinson out today, who really gives us a big boost inside rebounding basketball. They were quicker than we were to the ball, and that was the big problem. They attacked it in a crisscross action, and our players just couldn't understand what we were saying to them. But Ohio Christian also executed their stuff. They were patient, but I thought we did some good things as well. Our players grew up a little bit more today, and we got to continue to do that. We really don't pay attention to what happened this game or the last game. We'll start focusing on the next game, and that's IU East in Richmond, Indiana on Wednesday.
All right, coming up next, UVA Wise has struggled throughout the season, but Buckhorn native Matt Day has shined. We'll have highlights from Wise.
Yes, and later, Duke at Louisville, a top 20 matchup at the KFC Young Center. Blue Devils jumped out to a quick lead because of this guy, Grayson Allen. But would they get the last laugh? Highlights from Louisville later.
We should cut those from the show, actually.
The UVA Wise Cavaliers have only won 3 games this season, but one of those 3 wins came back on January 10th against Urbana.
That's good. The Blue Knights, they came to Wise today.
Well, what do you know?
Maybe they get a second win this season. All right, the UVA Wise Cavaliers going for the season sweep over the Blue Knights of Urbana. We start the first half. Austin Adams right to the paint. Well, you can't beat a team when somebody does that. Ties the game up early on. Cavs, though, playing well. Ricardo Hill Jr. Gets the steal, running the break, and Dimitri Sosa, oh, he gets paid. Problem, though, just Carlos Jackson, he was rocking it from downtown. Cuts the lead to 4. Look at the play here by Phillip Owens, though. The step back. Oh, you nasty. Cavs trail by 4 at the break to the second half. Owens leaves it with Matt Day, the Buckhorn native. That's what they do in Buckhorn. Just give me the ball and I'll just shoot it. That works. A little bit later, Javale Kidd from the corner. That corner working nice for the Wise. He had 13. Wise increases its lead to 5. Day going to work now in the paint, gets the bucket and 1. Day with 21, 10 rebounds. That's a solid double-double. Time winding down now, tied at 76. Day with the oh no. Day with the ball, but Day's foot stepped on the line. He's out of bounds. We go to overtime. In OT, the Blue Knights, who made the plays. Jackson, another 3. He had 7 on the Day from the outside, and then it's Colin Coran behind the arc. Urbana had 12 threes as a team. It's usually a good recipe for a win. Yes, the Blue Knights take it 91-87 in overtime. Cavalier head coach Blake Millinger, after the game, on his team not being able to get stops when it needed to.
We let them get too big of a jump on us. We didn't get those early stops. And then it's kind of back and forth. It's almost like whoever had the ball last was going to win the game. And then, it really just comes down to stops for us. It kind of has all year. We talk about it all the time. Like, there's such a thin line between winning and losing. You're one play away. But you got to figure out a way to make those plays.
All right, you saw former Buckhorn Wildcat Matt Day in the highlights. Day's college career, UVA Wise, coming to a close with just 2 regular season games remaining in the Mountain East Conference Tournament. Day is currently ranked 7th on the Cavaliers' all-time scoring list and is a member of the 1,000-point club. He says he's extremely grateful for his time with the program.
It's flew by. I remember coming in as a freshman. First day on campus, that first week, it was rough, but thinking back now, that feels like it's probably yesterday. It's went by so fast. I mean, I've had a great time over here. I've loved every minute being over here. And to think that it's finally going to come to an end here next week, last time playing in this, the combo, is something that it's crazy to think about, something that I'm grateful for every day.
All right, let's go to the Lady Cavaliers. Head coach Kristen Kunzman and the UVA Wise women playing before the men, taking on Urbana. Right off the opening tip, Stephanie Davis straight to the rack. Her only 2 of the game, Blue Knights up a deuce. For Wise, Kiana Grayer misses the jumper, but Taylor Sandage grabs the offensive board, puts it up and in, ties the game. Danny Schaefer, though, takes it to the rim pretty easily, I might say. She led Urbana with 26, Blue Knights up 2, but the Cavaliers were absolutely feeling it from downtown today. Blair Harding from straight away. Now, leading the break, it's Harding again, decided to pull up herself, drains another.
Splash
this
balls.
One from the wing. She had 1 from straight away, the right wing. How about the left wing? She's very versatile. Harding had 6 threes for the game, finished with 26 points. Mackenzie Klusman also had 6 threes for Wise. The Cavs hit 14 as a team. Klusman goes for 20. We go to the scoreboard. The Cavaliers beat the Blue Knights 81-69. Here's Coach Klusman after the game about the play of Harding.
She's capable of that every night. She's a really, really solid shooter. She ended up with 26. She had 7 rebounds, which is something that I was really proud of because she was able to get a lot of those looks because of the second chances. Well, it was important. We always talk about wanting to win at home. So that's something that, we protect our house. So I think we came out in the first 2 quarters and really proved that that's what we wanted to do.
All right, let's go back to the scoreboard. The Appalachian Athletic Conference Union playing a doubleheader against Point today. Yes, and the Union women take the win or lose to Point 56-46 as the number 5 Union men. They're rolling right now, 75-66 over Point.
Staying on the scoreboard, an LMU doubleheader with Queens. LMU women lose 58-52, but the men roll by the Royals 92-66. The Rail Splitters clinch their 4th straight South Atlantic Conference, regular season title. That was easy for me to say, man. Up next, we'll recap the last Friday night of the regular season on the high school hardwood in this week's Full Court Press.
It was a fun one, and we'll take a look around the college basketball scene across the country. Yeah, I'm not going to mention one of them. A thriller in Columbia between South Carolina and Florida. WVU also brings in Oklahoma.
Louisville Duke was the other one, all right?
Is that in the show?
It is.
Well, it's time for that part of the show where the girl from Louisville gets to watch her team get beat. Read the prompter.
Whatever you want to say here is what I'm supposed to say.
Okay.
Just let me know when it's over.
All right. Video pictures, please. Mike.
Video pictures, please. Video pictures, please. Video pictures, please.
You made that. It's great.
That was a brutal minute of my life sitting through those highlights, listening to you gloat the absolute entire time last year.
I had
that
nothing
was
to say.
That was awful.
Yeah, the facepalm was, I guess, priceless. But, you know, the game happened today, too, again, right?
Yeah, am I going to facepalm again? I don't know. Midway through the second half of the Duke-Louisville game, I'm sure you started to think that. Let's head out to the KFC Yum Center. And there he is.
He's pretty.
Yeah,
He's a beautiful
Mr. Grayson
player.
Allen. He had himself a decent first half of action, and by decent, I mean really good. 3 balls, shot clock winding down.
Oh, yeah, Grayson.
Step back swish ball. And then there he is in the corner. One more.
Take it, Yum Center.
Right before the end of the half. Allen with 19 points in the first half. Duke up 8 on Louisville at the break. But then second half, Louisville says, hey, remember us, the other team playing in this game? Turnover Duke. Layup Trey Lewis. Louisville down 5. Cards trying to reclaim the lead. Lewis misses. Dang Adele. The board out to Damian Lee. That man doesn't miss many from straight away. Mockingjay 3 ball right there. Cardinals up 1. Crowd bench feeling it. And Lee, well, he's feeling it too because he's not done. He's going to shoot it from right there. Salute to J-Law, Jennifer Lawrence, # Louisville. Cardinals up 4. So you think this game means something extra to these guys or what? And then, you know, Duke starts to, shall we say, unravel. Coach K teed up on the bench. Grayson Allen, all right, fouls out on this charge. And he doesn't like it. Has a few choice words for the ref. Give Allen 29 points and 6 fouls in this one. Cardinals up 4, under a minute to play. The floater, does not fall for the Blue Devils. Jalen Johnson snags the huge defensive rebound, and Louisville comes back from 13 down to beat ACC rival Duke 71-64. No postseason for Louisville, but man, does this win taste good.
You know, I think, you know, as a scorer and as, you know, a basketball player, everyone wants to be in that position, you know, to score and just help the team win. And, you know, after I hit 1 3, you know, I knew I was starting to get hot. So DA found me on the other 3 and then the one on the wing. So, you know, it was just, I mean, not even my play. It was just the play of my teammates. You know, other guys find each other, finding a dump down to Jalen. Nanu found Jalen for a dunk. So I think just everything just started to finally click for us.
Great read by Lauren, but guess what? He's still eligible for the tournament. The old ball coach, Steve Spurrier, wanted to watch his South Carolina Gamecocks, his former school, take on the Gators of Florida. First half, Gamecocks up 11. First shot no good for Michael Carrera. Oh, he got the second one to go, tips it in. Carolina lead out to 13. Frank Martin's happy face right there. Not really. The Gators, they closed the gap. Seconds winded down the first half. Devin Robinson gives Florida the 33-30 lead at halftime recess. Let's go late second half now. We've got the Lithuanian special. That's who he is.
The mom's on hand right there to say it. The moms are going.
Yeah, that is what happened. And then SC up 2, Dorian Finney-Smith. There it is. We've got a good one brewing in Columbia. Game tied at 64 now. 1.5 seconds to play. Carrera. Hey, he doesn't get the shot off in overtime. Tied up at 64 apiece. Now Frank Martin, he feeling good, I think. Overtime. Kevin Ticked does work inside for the hoop. Gamecocks up 2. Carolina up 2 now. Last chance for the Gators. Chris Chiwaza. Nope. Misses the three-pointer. South Carolina hangs on to win at home. Is that a smile? Yeah, I guess it is.
Maybe it is.
73-69, South Carolina wins.
Number 11, West Virginia, bringing in number 3, Oklahoma.
The
Close
logo.
game at halftime. Sooners up 2. Mountaineers with the lead. Not much longer. Oklahoma with the second and third efforts. Jordan Woodyard finally tips it in. WVU, though, forcing the turnover here. Jayshawn Page, the recipient of the turnover out in transition. 13 points for the former Perry Central Commodore. We're tied up at 52. Sooners, though, going on a run now. Oklahoma rattling off 9 unanswered points, capped off by Buddy Hield's 3-ball in transition. Buckets.
National Player of the Year.
Lethal. And Oklahoma knocks off West Virginia on their home floor, 76-62. Hield finished with 28 points in the Sooner win.
All right, beginning Monday, non-stop winter go home high school basketball action until March 13th when the girls crown a champion. And then, of course, March 20th when the boys crown a champion. We take a look back at some of the final regular season games that happened last night in the coverage area. It's all in this week's Lee's Famous Recipe. Hazard and Whitesburg. Full court press. Teams got in their final tune-ups before win or go home basketball begins next week. And there's nothing like playing your final regular season game against the best team in your region. A doubleheader at Southwestern was where we found the biggest games of the night in the WYMT coverage area. The Mercer County Titans visited the Wigwam for the first time this season. On the girls' side, it took overtime for the Lady Warriors to pull out a W. Samantha Fitzgerald and Elizabeth Latham each finished with 24 points, and Southwestern finishes out the regular season on a 15-game winning streak. The boys did not disappoint the packed house. Southwestern had the lead going into the fourth quarter, but Dylan James and Trevin Faulkner had just enough to escape with a 3-point win. Mercer finishes 28-1 in the regular season. Leslie County will host the 54th District Tournament starting Monday, and the boys and girls both got a win on senior night. Staying in the 14th, the Hazard Lady Bulldogs ended a 5-game losing streak by going to the 15th region and knocking off Pike Central. The Knott Central Patriots nearly lost to Rowan County. Larry Whalen missed this game winner, and the 4-time defending 14th region champs can breathe. Well, at least until Monday when they have to take on June Buchanan in the first round of the 53rd District. In the 15th, Lawrence County will enter the 60th District tourney with Belfry coming off a win. The Lady Bulldogs handed Allen Central its 11th loss in a row, while the Prestonsburg boys ended a 5-game losing skid by beating Belfry. It won't be March Monday, but I say let the madness begin. This has been the Lee's Famous Recipe. Hazard and Whitesburg. Full court press. What time is it?
Big game board time.
That's right. If we could put the whole district tournament schedule up here, we would. All the games next week are big board, big game material. Yes. All right, we look at the girls' 57 district on Monday. The second game of the night, Paintsville, Magoffin County. I think I'm going to that one. Johnson Central, Sheldon Clark get the night started from Paintsville. Bell County, Harlan County, the 2 versus 3 seed in the 52nd district, and our Appalachian Wireless game of the week. Oh my goodness. We'll go to Hyden for the 54th district tournament. First round action between Perry Central and Hazard. That game on Tuesday. Also going on Tuesday, the 2 versus 3 seed in the boys' 50th district. I think you'll be there. Whitley County and Corbin. The 2 split the regular season matchups on Wednesday. What should be a dandy in Lick Creek? Eastridge, Shelby Valley. First round. Yeah, you better be there. A ticket to the 15th Region Tournament on the line. You can see all of the district tournament schedules on the sports page at WYMT.com.
The Kentucky Association of Basketball Coaches released their voting for Regional Players of the Year. All of these candidates are finalists for Mr. and Miss Basketball. From the 13th Region, Caleb Taylor. 14th Region, Buckhorn's Connor Hoskins. Shelby Valley's Hunter Swindle representing the 15th Region. And Morgan County's Jordan Perry from the 16th. On the girls' side, North Laurel's Kayla Bruner representing the 13th, the all-time scoring leader in the state of Kentucky. Hashtag Creech Watch. Out of the 14th region, Whitney Creech and Jazzy Howard from Magoffin County repping the 15th.
How about the coaches of the year in the state of Kentucky? Out of the 12th region, Benny Blanton from Rockcastle County. Brad Sizemore leading the way for the North World Jaguars out of the 13th region. Shannon Hoskins with Perry Citra in the 14th region. And then Lawrence County's Travis York in the 15th. On the girls' side, Harlan Lady Dragon head coach Derek Acow repping the 13th region. Wallace Bates repping the 14th from Breathitt County. And then Denise Campbell representing the East Ridge Lady Warriors in the 15th region. Congrats to all the coaches and players. You can see the full list on our website, WYMT.com.
So win or go home basketball begins Monday for our coverage area high school basketball teams.
Yeah, and coming up, we go back to one of the most epic district games of all time in the mountains. Sports Overtime Rewind. Take a listen.
Holland at the free throw line, decides not to. Back up to Combs. Gonna try a long one. Got it! Daniel Combs at three-pointer.
All right, so district tournaments, they get underway on Monday, so we thought it would be a good time to revisit one of the more memorable district tournament games in 14th region history. I watch this all the time over our web producer's house.
The 54th district is one of the few districts statewide that holds a blind draw for its tournament. And in 2004, two of the state's top teams just happened to draw one another in the first round. Josh McKinney takes us back to Hazard versus Perry County Central at Leslie County in this week's Sports Overtime Rewind.
All A state champions versus 19-5. 11 straight wins versus 10 out of 11. Bulldogs versus Commodores. Hazard versus Perry County Central. First round of the 54th district tournament.
Long jumper, Combs, no good. Gets his own rebound, has it blocked out of bounds by Lamar Williams. Holland at the free throw line, decides not to. Back up to Combs. Gonna try a long one, got it! Daniel Combs, a three-pointer. Carter. Gonna launch a three, got it! Parker Carter. 6 seconds. Parker Carter from way out there. He got it!
A 13-point second quarter deficit trimmed to 3 at the halftime break.
Back up to Mullen. Sizemore in the block. Turn around 10-footer. Good! Here's the ball on the floor. It's loose.
Clawing all the way back to go up 1, entering the 4th and final quarter. But the madness had only just begun.
Flips the defenders, and he has it in front court. To Cheney, to Barker, got it! Against this man-to-man, to Barker. Barker gonna launch a long one, got it! A three-pointer. To Patrick, top of the key. Patrick pulls up with a jumper, got it! To Gabbard, top of the key, right wing, Robert Little, gonna try three, got it! He got it! Holden in the corner, to Cheney. Cheney, top of the key to Holland. Down the middle, in the corner to Combs. Throws it up, and it's good!
Down 2, Hank Gabbard was poised to play the role of hero.
Here comes Gabbard the other way. Gabbard all the way down, lays it up and in! And he's fouled!
Hazard up 1 with 44 seconds on the clock. But Chris Cheney had other ideas.
Here comes Holland in the front court. Underneath the Cheney, lays it up in!
He put Perry County Central up 1 with just 13.7 left. That's when Hazard turned to one of its senior leaders, Stephen Sizemore.
Gabbard quickly to Sizemore. Sizemore pulls up with a 10-footer. Got it!
And with 7 seconds to play, that was your game winner, right? Wrong.
Here we go. The final 7 seconds in the Combs. He's at front court. 3, 2, here's his shot. It is good! Perry Central wins it! Perry Central wins it!
Daniel Combs, the shot heard round Perry County, as the Commodores eliminate the All-A state champion Hazard Bulldogs in the first round of postseason play.
Oh my gosh, that is like so awesome.
I'm
love
so
that.
excited for postseason right now. I can't even stand it.
Like, I can literally watch that video. Like, just the raw video is great. Great job by Josh there. This season marks the 5th time the Bulldogs and Commodores will have met in the opening round of the district tournament since that memorable meeting. And guess what? They're doing it at Leslie County again this year.
Yes, of the 4 meetings prior to next week's, Perry County Central has come out on top in 3 of them.
Yeah.
Well, coming up next, we'll close out the show with our play of the week.
Plus, we got NASCAR.
We got NASCAR.
Yeah, NASCAR drops the green flag on its regular season tomorrow. Vroom, vroom, a Daytona 500.
NASCAR fans don't vroom vroom, Jamie.
Oh. What do they do?
They don't do that.
Okay, we'll preview the race and she'll tell you what they do. All right, time for our play of the week. Close your eyes and mute the TVs if you're Big Blue Nation, but still watch us because we got more to come. Tyler Davis, the freshman, off the Daniel House miss, puts it back up and in overtime to win the game for the Aggies. Replay shows, yeah, no question, goes in. Yeah, Von Miller was very happy. You know, the Aggies with 20 offensive rebounds, the Cats with just 6, and it cost them in the most crucial moment of the game. Tyler Davis, yikes. Our play of the week.
All right, well, if you like really fast cars driving on pavements in circles,
yeah,
NASCAR season is starting back tomorrow. Woo!
You excited?
So excited. Dale, yeah.
Dale, yeah. The famous track in Daytona. This is where the green flag will drop. Today, the Xfinity Series race, if I can get through this. Ty Dillon on the pole as the NASCAR Xfinity Series opens its season. I'm not going to be able to do this with Josh and Lauren in the room. All right, we're at Daytona. Dillon would finish 13th. Chase Elliott, the pole sitter for Sunday's Daytona 500, leads the pack down the backstretch, but how would it finish? I say we go to the final lap as they come out of turn 2. Joey Logano in the outside lane, he has the run for it. So Elliott goes high, tries to cut the momentum off, but coming in turn 4 and headed for the checker flag, Logano goes to the outside, and yeah, there's contact, but Elliott holds on to it as you take another look. Chase Elliott wins the Xfinity race in Daytona. I got a mess going on right now. Okay, we got NBA now. The Knicks seeking their second win in the last month as they visit the Timberwolves. Final seconds of the first quarter, Knicks up 13. Carmelo Anthony trapped by a double team, gets it to Robin Lopez. Easy lay-in. Second quarter, T-Wolves down 14. That's Carlito. You see Carlito?
Carlito.
Karl-Anthony Towns, he goes for 24 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. I've got a wardrobe malfunction, don't come out. Jump to the fourth quarter, Knicks up 14, Melo time again. That's Anthony creates, makes, step back jumper. He reaches 22,000 points in his career on that basket. He had 30 in the game. The Knicks were going to win 103-95. I do not want to look at myself.
It's Jamie's birthday!
Is it midnight?
It is midnight. I think it's past midnight. And
Okay.
I had your mom send me a picture of her.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, just like take a gander at that. You've got a 3-piece
do we need a
suit
sipper?
rocking right there.
That's nice. I like the bow tie. I've never seen that picture, honestly.
Well, your mom tagged me in the picture, yeah. And I
you?
really wanted to light this cupcake and, you know, have you blow it out, but like me and fire just doesn't
Lord.
seem like a safe
Thank
thing.
you,
So that
Lord.
is your birthday. Josh McKinney is over in the locker room, and if you'll take him there.
You still got my picture in there too. That's great.
Josh is ready to celebrate. So that's what we're gonna do once we get off the set here.
Well, thank you. Did you buy these cupcakes or did Lauren? Okay.
Do you want a New Maker?
I'm so happy.
The big 2-6.
The big 2-6. Okay, is that it? I'm so appreciative of you guys. No, let me say one thing. I'm very appreciative. Turn 26, that's old. You have to get like your own health care and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's crazy. But I'm very appreciative. Thank you. Appreciate working with you. Josh.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you for watching the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. We're gonna go eat cupcakes and make these little things make noise. Woo!
The icing's good.
Good night.
Thank you guys.